And the show starts right now. Get those watch parties started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to TK Talkz show. I am your host, Keita K, and with me, as always, is my lovely and beautiful co-host,
Lady T.
Yes, and we would like to start off with Happy Wednesday, everyone. We're so very glad that you guys have decided to join us. I know we've been on a little break, so we're back now. We've been going through a lot, actually, and, with this quarantining and the coronavirus and everything going on, your girls got to take breaks and take care of themselves mentally and everything. But nonetheless, today we have an amazing show set up for you all because we have a guest in the backstage waiting to come out. But before we bring him out, I have to let you know a little bit about our guest, okay? He is a stand-up comedian, actor, and a writer. He is also, as a producer, have won the 2019 Emmy Award, which is pretty dope, for the CNN original series, United Shades of America. Mm-hmm. Also, described as a world-class stand-up by the Village Voice, the legendary by Chicago Tribune, he is also one of the funniest, most thought-provoking, and influential comedians of our time. And not to even mention that he has been on some of the shows I'm sure you guys are all aware of. He's written for Arsenio Hall's show. He's also have acting credits in Seinfeld, Martin, 227, Amen, just to name a few. He has done a lot of good things. But he's just recently dropped his album this month, actually, is who? The hell is Dwayne Kennedy. So we're going to talk about all of that with him. So while I just told you guys his name, let's show you a little clip of Mr. Dwayne Kennedy before we bring him on.
Hey, I thought I told you to get the hell out of here.
Man, why don't you go yourself? How about that? Oh, what's poppin'?
Oh no. Dwayne Kennedy.
What's Bob doing? Hey, Bob.
What up,
man? That's funny, man. I was just talking to myself about you all this morning, and your names came up.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, man. What you all doing?
Yeah, we just making a little rundown to spot.
Oh, hey, you gonna finish that bagel?
Yeah, you can.
I mean, you can. Here you go, bud. Thank you, bud. Yeah, but no, man, things are going good. Things are going good. I'm trying
that's
to.
Good,
I got a CD.
Oh, CD.
Yeah.
Dwayne Kennedy. Thank you very much.
Hey, here's how you solve the racial problem. Talk to each other. Thank you. No, you talk to people and, you talk to them. You might say some painful things, but that's how you get the ball rolling, right? Like you could say, like, hey, white man, how come you so tense and afraid? then he could say, hey, black man, how'd you get into my apartment? You know what I
mean? Yes. So if everyone can give you a round of applause as we welcome Chicago's very own comedian, Dwayne Kennedy, to the show.
You wasn't expecting that, huh?
Oh, man. Not at all. Not at all.
That was some pretty funny stuff, man.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm trying,
Absolutely.
Glad to
be. How you been holding up during this coronavirus and quarantine, and how you been holding up?
I'm good. I'm mostly in the crib, I was living a pandemic life even before the pandemic. You know what I mean? I'm a homebody anyway. And, I was when they said what you have to do is stay away from people and wash your hands obsessively. It's like, man, I've been doing that since I was 9, So I got that covered. But I'm I'm good. I'm out. I do things. I take my father places, and we go out, we shop, whatever we need to do. But I'm masked and gloved up. Yeah. How you all doing with that?
Man, we're doing good. I've actually took this time to get a lot of stuff done. Like I was telling you earlier, we've been working out in the yard, just getting a lot of things, decluttering our lives, and
Yeah. And for me, I just took this time to, spend with my daughter since she's being homeschooled now, so I have to adjust to doing that. So it's been a good change.
Yes, for sure.
I'm not going to homeschool anybody because they would be doomed because I don't know anything.
Yes. But you know what? It's always something good that comes out of it.
Yeah.
Being that you're at home and stuff. And I know I've got a lot of good things out of being home now. So I can't complain. I'm be satisfied with that.
Yeah. I just like I said, mostly I'm isolated, but when I go out and I see more and more people, which is good, with the mask and gloves on, because I've been in stores. You see, I don't know if I've been in stores and see a lot of people with just no mask, no gloves, touching. Oh boy.
Yeah. Yes.
Like you want to cuss them out.
You know what I mean? And then, some of them who work there, like the cat. I was at a store and cashier had on no mask, no gloves. Like, oh man, what you thinking about? Yeah.
They ain't thinking. That's the problem. But we're glad that you're doing good. You look amazing, and we're so glad that you decided to join us today because we know that you are such a great guy. A lot going on, but we want to let our viewers know a little bit more about you. We know you've worked on movies as big as How High. You've been on our written for the Arsenio Hall show. Martin, Seinfeld, 227, Amen. A lot of stuff, right? All of my favorite shows.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But we want to talk about the man before all of that. Let's talk about where you're from for the people who don't know.
Well, I'm originally from Chicago, and then at a certain point in my life, we moved out to the south suburbs, and then I moved back to Chicago. So, but generally from the area all my life. I started doing stand up. That's in the 80s. I was at the I started doing it at this place called Zany's. I don't know if you heard Zany's Comedy Club.
Yes.
Yeah. So they had an open mic, and I always liked comedy. When I was a kid, just watching it, like, oh man, it seems so fascinating. How could somebody just stand there or just move around or just say something? People react like they do, That's why I always comedy. Yeah. So I said, well, you got, you kind of like. I don't know if you've ever had this experience, like, things you want to do or be when you were a kid, and then time goes on and you kind of just let that go. And I kind of did that. Then after a while, I was like, I should try this. So yeah. So
before you started to do like stand up, was there ever moments where people were like, oh my God, Dwayne, you're so funny, like all of the time? You're so funny.
Yeah. I had people who I hung out with who kind of thought I was funny, which. I guess for me, sort of gave me the confidence or the incentive to actually try to take it to the stage and and see if I could do it from there. but certainly, yeah, you have people that you make laugh and you say, oh man, I think
you do comedy.
Now, do you write your own jokes, or do you do your stuff at home and before you get into a large audience in front of you?
I write, sit down and write, and a few different ways, like different processes. Sometimes I'll sit down, like I always have I'm still old school. I still have a pen and pad, paper that I keep with me. So you think of something, or a line, or a word, or a scenario. There you go. Right. All right. Me and you.
Yeah. Right. I get you, brother. I get you.
So you write things down, and then at some point you all sit down with your notebooks and kind of compile it and maybe organize it into a routine or a bit, or whatever it might be. That's one way. Another way you come up with material is just, at least I do, is just in conversation. Talking to somebody, says this, and then like, oh man, I might work on stage. And then the third way you can do it is sometimes you go on stage and you have things written, but sometimes you just have an idea, and then you work it out on stage. Or sometimes something will happen on stage that you weren't even planning, and then that can build into a bit.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. I commend you, because I know it takes a lot of strength to get up on that stage in front of people. Because what if you bomb? Like, oh my God.
It happens. A lot of things go through your mind. Is so I think when you first start and you bomb, what you have done is like you feel horrible. It's never a good feeling to fail in front of a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But as you progress in the field, sometimes you start to learn about you learn to deal with it better. And it just depends. Yeah. But I remember, man. You bomb, and it's like, man, if I can't do this, I can't do anything. I'm completely working. But but you learn, and different people will deal with it differently. Like I always tell people a story about Chris Rock, and I know him from back before he was rich and famous. I met him in New York, and this is something that I only realized later in life. But when he first started, it wasn't that he wasn't talented. He was, he had a great mind, which is, of course he does. But he would go up and he would bomb a lot.
Really?
Yeah, when he first started. But but the thing is, just because people cannot laugh for different reasons. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes you can see somebody and see that what they just said was funny, but the way they delivered it might not have been good. Whereas some people, you can see that, oh, that idea is funny, but the way they presented it wasn't good. So there's different reasons why things happen. Sometimes people just don't have anything. But sometimes you can kind of see where things are going. So with a cat like Chris, you can see what this is. Oh, here's another thing. Sometimes because Chris, his act was so heavy, like race and social conditions. When he was so young,
it stopped. Sorry,
but he was so young. Sometimes people, how somebody really young could be running it down, and they could be making good points, but it's just because they're so young, you still kind of just don't want to hear it.
Right.
Coming out of an 11-year-old's mouth, like
right. Yeah. It's all about the person that said it, so I get it.
Yeah. So, but you learn. But the thing, like I said, in retrospect, that was to his advantage. What he benefited from, because he never stopped. He would bomb at an 8:30 show at Stand Up New York. Then you see him bomb at 9:30 at the Comic Strip. Then he'd be bombing at 10 o'clock at Catch It Right. But you know what I mean? But always what was happening was he would be learning, and
Yeah.
So for me, I didn't have that kind of. My psychology at the time, I was much more fragile. Like if I had a bad show, I wouldn't go up again for months. And that's not, you don't grow like that. You don't really learn like that,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's true. And speaking about your comedy, I know you're not a man that fears many things, obviously, because some of your jokes hit some areas that a lot of comedians and a lot of people be scared to touch. You know, just like the album you dropped. You just dropped this month. Congratulations on that too.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Well, in that album, you talk about Donald Trump versus the Earth.
Yeah, because he's a lunatic.
See, and many people would not do that. You know,
I don't know why, because he's clear. It's clear that he has a mental imbalance or something, or an emotional and psychological imbalance. He's crazy. It's like I said, at this point, I don't care, Republican, Democrat, whatever you call yourself, this man is nuts. And he's a danger to society. You know?
See? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, those are many things that you talk about, a lot of things that a lot of people would not be so quick to talk about. So I want to, you know what I'm saying, pat you on the back for that, because you got cahutos for that. But let's just show the people one little clip of the comedy that you're talking about. And this is going to be about the Chicago shooting, okay? And then we're going to talk a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah. But you're here now because it's shooting season in Chicago. Right? She's like, yeah. I don't know what it is about the warm weather. Just bring the brothers out. It's 79 degrees, nigga. I ain't seen you all winter, dog. How's your aunt? That's why sometimes, man, I'm glad when it becomes wintertime in Chicago and it be like 30 degrees below zero, you know what I mean? Because then all the gangsters got to go in the house, you know, which I feel bad for anybody in that house now getting their ass whooped, you know, but at least now I can walk to the grocery store and get that wheat bread that I've had my eye on all summer. Everybody got a gun. You know what I mean? Not everybody. It's young people. I don't know what. They arrested a 11-year-old with a gun a couple weeks ago. 11 a year. How you get a gun at 11? How'd you get a gun did you get it for Christmas? You're like, dear Santa, if you could just get me a Tech 9 with a scope, I can get the rest of the presents myself. Ho, 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 motherfuckers. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Now, right before you hit the stage, how do you calm yourself down?
That is a fantastic question. That's a great question, particularly for me, because I'm a shy person, you know. I'm not as shy as I used to be, but certainly the thing I learned, and this is, I love that question. Woo! That's the structure. The thing that I learned that when I first started, I was nervous, of course, scared and all those things. But as I continued to do it, I realized that being nervous is a part of the process. See, because when you first start, you think you're not supposed to, when you go on stage, you're not, or speaking in front of a group of people, you think you're not supposed to be nervous at all, which makes you more nervous. But then at some point, you realize that you're going to be scared. So now you're less scared because you know you're going to be scared. You know that fear and that anxiety is a part of it. So then it's a matter of not one technique you use, like I use, and it's a common technique, is to just kind of just breathe deep, you know, like I would just inhale. It's like, you know, like almost like yoga or something, or, you know, meditation. You just inhale deeply. I would imagine my body filling up with air, like air filling up from the bottom of my feet to my head, and then just kind of slowly exhale. And that would help calm me down, you know. And then other things that you kind of tell yourself, you know, I don't want to go into those. It's kind of you know, it might sound kind of like right. It's kind of crazy, but you know.
Because I know when you hear them laughing, it makes you, you know, it gets you more energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Now that's the other part of it. As a comedian, you go out and you get that first laugh where you can feel that they're with you. That also definitely calms you down. Like, okay, all right. I've certainly had shows where you go out there, you know, and it used to be when I was younger, I would need to go out and that opening line would have to be boom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would reassure the audience that I was funny and actually reassure myself that I was funny. And then we could all kind of settle down. Like, okay, they have confidence in you. And now I have confidence in myself, basically, you know. But as, you know, gotten older and just doing it longer, sometimes I kind of don't start with a joke right off the top, you know, depending on the audience. Just kind of see where it goes, you know. But man, you come out and do that first joke, and nothing. Oh boy, woo! It's gonna be a long night. It's gonna be a long night for everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, being that you know we in quarantine, you can't really get in front of these audiences anymore. But you did drop your album this month. So how did you do this album? Were you in a live audience or studio, or how did this happen?
No, I actually recorded it in almost 2 years ago at the Punchline in San Francisco. So I was out there back when we could go out and mix and mingle in public, you know. And then the cat that recorded the album, who's the producer, Aham Oluho, he's fantastic. He's actually kind of, he and this cat Harik kind of Bolu and W. Kamau, those are the ones that kind of encouraged me to do the album, you know, because I was always saying I'm gonna do one. I've tried to do one, recorded it, then didn't release it. Like I don't like that. But when they knew I had these gigs out in San Francisco, Aham, who stays in Seattle, said, "Man, I'm coming down with the equipment and I'm going to record you." So then he did that, but then there were other things between the time he recorded, which was in August of 18. There were things that he also wrote and starred in a movie that I was actually also in. So he was the movie. He's a musician. He's a fantastic musician. So he was busy with some things. So finally, though, he got to the point where he had the time to work on the album and edit it and do all those things. And so yeah.
Okay, awesome. Now you also dropped your EP in 2016 called "Oh No, It's Dwayne Kennedy." Your titles, by the way, are funny. So that just already let you know it's going to be funny. Okay?
I'm trying to have a good title. You know what I mean? It's like
you do a good job.
Yeah, I'm trying, because people, if they don't know who you are, it's like that they're scrolling through, like, oh, that title's kind of funny. Let me see. Now, I was gonna actually title it "Who the is Dwayne Kennedy," but I thought that was kind of just harsh for a title. I mean, I actually think it's funnier than "Who the hell." But I don't know. I was just thinking about my relatives and some people. I'm like, you know, because
I want to reach a whole broad of audience. You know,
I mean, to some degree, because I mean, I still, you know, I say a few words in the act, but it's different than having it right there on the cover. You know, maybe I'm being a hypocrite. Maybe, you know what I mean? But anyway. So.
Yeah. Yeah. What is the difference between your 2016 release of "Oh No, It's Dwayne Kennedy" and Who the Hell is Dwayne Kennedy? What were your purposes, the different purposes in between those two? Like, what did you want to come across in the first one different than the second one?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. You know, I don't, it's like my act is my act. Like I'm not, and maybe, again, that's a great question, because you give me something to think about that maybe I haven't really thought about, like maybe like the arc of, with the releases, you know, where should it go? But right now, it's just basically like the first one was, again, wanting to have a document of something. And it was something that this is, like I said, I've been thinking about trying to do one. I've been trying to do one for years. And then this EP was a chance, again, because I was in the process of trying to record. I couldn't find the right time. You know, I get compulsive, like, oh, that's not going to be a good show, or that's not going to be a good audience, or this or that. Yeah, but finally, I'm going to do it. And then I recorded that show in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I did it at this cat called James Brown Jr. Comedian James Brown Jr. is a brother up in Grand Rapids. So I did his spot. It was a nice spot. I had done it one time before, and I was like, man, wait a minute. Oh, I think that would be a good place. So I actually set that recording up as I was driving up to the gig, because it was a one-night gig in Grand Rapids. But as I was going up there, I was asking him, man, do you know anybody who could come and record. And so we set this whole thing up as I was driving from Chicago to Grand Rapids. So that worked. So I was, with this latest one, I think one difference is it's longer. It's just a longer thing. And I wanted to put some bits in there that I've had that. That's the thing about what I've been doing is that, and the cast that have recorded it, is just to have a document of bits you've done, but nobody really knows what they are, and just get it out there to people and let them hear it. So, I don't even know if I answered your question, but.
Oh, you did great, man. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
You answered my question, and both of them are great. So I enjoy your work and everything that you do. You're a hilarious man. So don't ever think I'm not listening or don't have the right answer for you.
Okay.
You don't have the right answer for me. But we're going to take a quick break, Dwayne, and we'll be right back. Don't you go nowhere. And when we come back, everybody, we're going to have some Lady T's tea time. And then we'll get your opinion on what Lady T has, okay? All right, so we'll be right back after this commercial. Hey you, it is time to figure out how to follow us on social media. Go to your YouTube browser, put in TK Talkz, that's TK Talkz with a Z. There you will find our YouTube channel where all of our past and future episodes will be. And you can check out all of our great guest interviews. So now, Lady T, show them how to get on Facebook.
Sure. All you have to do is put in TK Talkz in the search bar. TKTALKZ. Yes, with a Z. Also hit that like and that follow button as you see above. And let's get it. Time to get ready.
Yes, so now we're about to get ready for our show. We're back, and this is the segment where we have Lady T's tea time. This is when she's going to give us a little bit of positivity and a little dose of truth. Okay, so Lady T, what you got, boo?
So during this quarantine, I've been checking out a few episodes with T.I. and his family. He has a new show with him and his friends now, and so. When I was watching this episode, I seen that his mom, she's like in her 50s and she's looking to get married. Okay. And she's been dealing with this guy since they were in high school. I think she went on prom with him. Yes. And so she said that, she was jokingly going up to him like, yeah, I'm finna get married. And T.I. thought it was a joke. And so the man that she was talking about marrying actually asked him for his mom's hand in marriage. But the thing is, he broke. So if I'm the son, this is T.I. If he's the son and he's taking care of his mom, okay, so now how are you going to come in and now take care of my mom if I'm the one taking care of her? But no, you not. So your thing is he wants T.I. to still financially take care of his mom while in a marriage. How do you feel about that?
I feel like I can't put all the blame on him because she has allowed that to happen. She has allowed him to come into her life broke. She kept him there for all these years broke. So it's not like she didn't know.
According to her, he's been a great example, as far as being a father figure for T.I.
He just hasn't been a great example as far as
finances, but he has a good mindset. You know what I'm saying? He was able to teach T.I. a couple things before T.I. hit it big in the rap game.
Well, T.I. should have taught him a couple things like savings. Return the favor, son.
But I guess when you look at your mom and having a boyfriend, I don't know. I guess it's just difficult for him to be connected to a guy that, his mom is with. I guess he just leave that up to...
Not if he's been there since he was shorty, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's different. It's not like he just came to your mom's life yesterday.
But T.I. had a huge problem with that.
Well, T.I. is not a very trustworthy man when it comes to his opinions anyway, because we know how he felt about the gynecologist situation. Okay, I didn't agree with that. I thought the man was crazy about that. So this doesn't surprise me either way. T.I. need to get over himself. The team taking care of your mama. And Jody, mama got to have a life too. So let mama.
But he actually sat his mama down and broke it down to her as to why it wouldn't be a good idea to marry this man.
So just shacking up is good enough for him.
Yes, he don't want his mom to be married to a man that can't take care of her. And I felt him on that. Like, if you can't financially come through for my mom, then there's no reason for y'all to get married. But on the flip side, I feel like if she wants love and she wants to be married, then there's nothing wrong with it. So it's like two split sides to it. It's like you can't really choose a side. And you can't really choose who you love at the end of the day.
You definitely can't. And you can't make somebody choose who they love. No.
So, Dwayne,
have you been paying attention to the story, Dwayne?
No, but I got it from you all telling me about it. You know, that's a tough situation, because if this is a woman, like you said, who loves this man, they've been together. What can you do? I mean, because if you're T.I., are you going to cut him? If this cat marries his mom, is he going to cut her off? No, right? So that's almost not an unwinnable situation for him, you know? Yeah. So I guess he was respectful enough to what he said. You said he asked T.I. if he could have his mom's hand in marriage or something.
Yeah. But then he also asked him if he could help him start his business. So if you worried about your mom being financially taken care of,
can you lend me some money so I can marry your mom?
But on the flip side,
the cake won't pay for itself. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. What did you say? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was saying, but on the flip side, you know, they were saying that he's a really good dude to her, and he could, handle her. He can handle her emotionally. Yeah. So
what the thing you were saying about this cat having a great, being a great person and having a great mind, and I think, certainly in this world, especially now, it's tight, and capitalism grinds everybody down. So, hey, get that money and all those things. Everybody needs money. I got it. But I think people devalue one another sometimes just based on your material, your material wealth or your lack thereof, And like you said, if this guy's a good person and got a great mind, that's something to offer. That's something you have to offer people. And ultimately, money aside, ultimately it's just how you are as a person. That's where your value and your true worth lies, And if he makes, he makes that woman happy, and he's bringing things to the table. He might not be bringing money to the table, but obviously he's bringing something, or she wouldn't want to marry him,
Right.
I think sometimes we get not caught up, because I don't want to sound all preachy, because everybody needs money. I got it. But how sometimes you won't even, that thing when you too broke to listen to or something like that. If you too broke.
Right.
Yeah. But sometimes, yeah. I don't think Jesus was a millionaire, and a lot of his ideas caught on,
True.
Yeah.
That's true.
So.
And I like what you said when you said that, he's smart and he brings other things to the table. It's not necessarily financial things that he brings to the table, but it's other attributes that, because you can have a rich man that's a jerk. You can have a rich man that's just lazy around the house and just waste of space. Yeah. So, it's always just depends on the person.
Well, speaking of that, just like you said, I don't know if you heard about this thing, Jay Cutler used to be the quarterback of the Bears. Okay, so this Jay Cutler was a quarterback of the Bears, 6, 7 years, whatever it was, 8 years, and made millions and millions of dollars. Okay, now he's out of the game now, and he's with his wife, Kristen, I think, Cavallari. They have a show, some kind of reality show. Now, right. So now they're getting divorced. And the thing that I read that she said, again, I don't know if it's true, this is just what I read, is that, and now mind you, he's wealthy beyond people's dream. You know what I mean? He's got generational wealth. But she said all he does is lay around the house. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't have any goals or ambition. So, you know what I mean? Like you were saying, you can have all the money in the world and be a jerk, or in his case, just seem to be unmotivated, you know?
Right. Like, you know what? A lot of people, and you're a guy who do comedy that don't really care about what people think. So I guess I could say this, right? Just like O.J. Simpson, he had a lot of money. But Nicole was at home dealing with some stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You know, sometimes, yes. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like money, but, you know, a lot of money, but at what cost, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think that's some good tea, something to definitely at least sip on to think about.
Yeah, definitely. Because I don't know, I would just let my mom have her man. Financially able to take care of her, or not financially able to take care of her. I think I would put him in a position to work in order to take care of my mom. And I think that's what T.I. should do. Me personally, that's how I feel.
What you said, you wanted T.I. to finance his business?
No, I would put him in a position, you know, like if he needed a job or something. T.I. has all of those hookups where he can get the guy a job good enough to take care of his mom.
Okay, right. I thought okay. Yeah.
No, I must. If he wants to finance his biz, I don't think that's an issue.
Nah.
But I don't know. But like I said, I will put him in a position to have some type of financial job.
Yeah.
You know.
Or pursue. I wonder what my man's passion might be. You know,
right.
They say work your passion, and you know, if you do what you love, then you never work a day. All that, I don't know. You know,
scouting sugar mamas. That's his passion.
Yeah. Hey, brother, can you finance my Mac operation? You know.
Yes.
And that's my tea. Thank you all for chiming in.
Good tea, Lady T. We definitely appreciate that. Now, we also want to play a game. We like to play games with our guests, and you are no different, so be prepared because we have this or that game, okay? Since you're a comedian.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to ask you between the two, which one would you prefer, okay?
Okay.
All right, first up. Would you prefer Chris Rock or Eddie Murphy?
Woo!
And you know Chris Rock gonna come for you now.
Right. Now, okay, can I have to just answer? I can't ask you a question before I answer?
Nah. Don't ask me
Okay. Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy. All right. I think I agree.
Eddie Murphy is a genius.
He is. I agree for sure.
Yeah,
what is
it?
Entertainer.
Or Bernie Mac.
He gonna get it.
Oh yeah, Bernie Mac.
Yeah. Yeah.
I say this also not just because of who he was and what he did, his stature and all those things. He was cool to me. That brother was. I didn't know him well, but he was a good guy to me. He used to do a show when he was in town, like when he would be touring, he'd come and do this thing at this club called Meltroniers, not there anymore. Every Tuesday he would have this show, and I went and did that show, and it was fantastic. So, yeah. So
that's pretty awesome, man, to even share a space with somebody.
He was great. He was doing his own variety show at Meltroniers. So it was comedy, it was music, dance, whatever. And the thing I loved about Bernie, the way he had his audience, he had groomed his audience, because before every show he would tell them, look, at the time, wasn't even cell phones. We had no cell phones, no hats, no beepers, no heckling, respect, what I mean? So he gradually grew the type of audience that you would want to perform in front of, Yeah. It was great.
That's dope. That's awesome. Now this one may be a little harder. You may not like me after this one, okay?
I'm gonna like you. I may not like myself after this.
No. All right, so we're going with Red Fox or Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor.
Oh, that was easy, huh?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, that's easy. Richard Pryor. No, nothing against Red Fox, of course, but Richard Pryor over everybody. As far as stand up, Richard Pryor over everybody. Whew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart or Cat Williams?
Cat Williams. And now again,
you better say Cat Williams.
No.
Yes, I'm picking Cat Williams.
I mean, I like Kevin Hart. The thing is, the people I'm mentioning, I don't dislike the people I'm not mentioning. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I don't want to get back to Kevin. That I was on the TK Talk show and he said what? You know, but Cat Williams, man, is just that cat's brilliant. He's brilliant. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, he's brilliant. And I'm not saying Kevin is fantastic. He's a great performer and he's very funny. He's very funny. I mean, the thing with Kevin Hart, I don't know him. I'm not trying to, talk his but he's so busy. You know what I mean? He's doing everything. That cat hustles.
Yes,
so
he is. And I think that's what I like about him so much, though.
Yeah, that work ethic.
He does everything. Yes.
Me too.
His work ethic is like a Jamaican.
Right.
All right, so we're gonna give you one more. I just want to make it a good one.
Okay.
My other good one wasn't good enough. God, this is hard. There's so many great comedians. Only one.
What about
Well, let's do a Chicago battle. How about that?
Yeah, and I was trying to. You know what? Oh man, what can I think? She's fantastic. Oh man, I can't think of her name.
Haddish?
You
talking about Tiffany Haddish?
No, from Chicago.
From Chicago.
Yeah. She used to
how about this?
Okay, let me just.
Dion Cole or Lil Rel?
Ooh.
Yes, Chicago.
Yeah. I'll say Dion.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, again, nothing against Rel. You always gotta give these answers and think of, what if I run into that other brother somewhere? Right. Yeah. But no, nothing against Rel at all. Rel is great. Rel is great. Yeah. Dion, the thing about Dion, which is really cool, is that, and this is why I love stand-up, because there's so many different styles, you know what I mean, and approaches and perspectives. I really love that. It's like I always tell people, it's like different philosophers. If you read different books of philosophy, they might be completely disparate ideas, but they all make sense, But the thing about Dion is a great, like a traditional stand-up. I mean, he's a flat-footed joke writer. He writes jokes. You know what I mean? Boom. His structure is impeccable. And I really respect that. And he just, and that's what I don't like. Again, I know Dion just a little bit. He probably wouldn't even know who I was. You know what I mean? But we've talked a couple times. But I just like that he does his style, and he's just going to be him wherever he's at, and that style has taken him where it's taken him. Because he's a great joke writer.
He is. I mean, I appreciate Dion Cole. I'm not, he's not.
Yeah, Dion is. It's intellectual. All comedians are intellectual. However it manifests itself, but you don't find somebody who's funny who's a dummy. You know what I mean? So they all do it the way they want to do it. But anyway, yeah.
I heard a joke recently. It was saying like, why is there not any bee batteries? I said that is so true. Why is there not any bee? They said, what is it, B for black? So you can't get bee batteries. They tripled up on the A batteries.
Right. That is a good one. That's something to think about. Yeah. Yeah, right.
I think I heard Dion Cole say that joke. I was like,
and that's what I'm talking about. That's brilliance, Yeah. When somebody can take something that you see all the time, that it it's one of those things where when somebody can open you up to see the thing that you always saw but didn't know you were seeing it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know?
Yeah. That's the truth. Absolutely. So yeah, I mean that's my comedy questionnaire. You did a pretty good job. You know, the only one I disagreed with was the Kevin Hart and Cat Williams. That was the only one.
I thought you were gonna bring up though, but I can't. Okay, here's some women. Marsha Warfield, who's from Chicago. You know Marsha Warfield? And
I've never heard of her. I've never heard.
Get a chance, Google Marsha Warfield. She was fantastic. She played Roz on Night Court. She was the bailiff, but she's a fantastic stand-up comedian. But
yeah, she probably know my face when she see her.
Yeah. I'm sure you will. And then oh man, she was, dang, why can't I remember her name?
I'm gonna find out right.
Is that her name?
No, she's from Chicago. Oh boy. And I always
let's see.
She used to do Def Jam.
Ooh, I'm trying to Google it, man.
From Chicago. Oh, you know what one of her jokes was? I'm such a fucking lady.
Oh, is that Leslie?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh no, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. Yes. Oh man, what is her name? Oh, here you go. Here she go. No, that ain't her. It ain't Cheryl Underwood, but she look like her.
Cheryl Underwood is great, but it's not Cheryl Underwood.
Right, but she kind of look like her.
She's
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But anybody who watching knows the comedian that we're talking about, please feel free to drop that in the comments because we clearly need y'all help.
Yeah.
So yes, we definitely need y'all help. But I'm not gonna forget. I do see a couple comments in Yolanda. Thank you for the hands, and she said hi to everyone. But if anybody can tell us this comedian name, y'all make sure y'all drop that. Now it's gonna bother me all day.
I'm embarrassed that I can't think of her name because she's fantastic, man.
Yes.
She's fantastic.
I'm finished.
But then there's so many more comedians now who I don't know, or sometimes you just hear about them like, oh man, it's so and so is funny, but oh man. Boom. Yes. Thank you.
You know what I had to Google? I had to Google I'm such a freaking lady comedian.
Yeah. Adele Givens is funny, man. Again, a great joke writer, Yeah. Adele Givens, yes.
Oh, okay. How do you feel about Tiffany? One of the little young bucks.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at her. She's doing her thing.
Oh yeah, she's rolling. Yeah, a friend of mine. Actually, that video that you showed to me, washing those cats' car window, they come up to the car. Those two brothers, the one who was at the wheel, that's Ali Leroy, who is from Chicago, who wrote on the Chris Rock show, and then he is the co-creator of Everybody Hates Chris, the cat that was at the wheel of that car in the sketch. Okay. Yeah. Me and Ali, I've known Ali since Chicago, and then I've known that brother forever. I actually just heard from him yesterday. He texted me on Instagram because he bought my album, so that's cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he.
I like having those great supporters and people that's rocking with you, man.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about moving out of Chicago?
Well, I have lived in other places periodically. Like I lived in LA for a time. I was in New York for a time. I was in LA. Over the years, I go out to LA, depending on what's going on. I might be out there for some months or a year or so. I was out there when I was writing on Arsenio show. I was living out there, but and then I've lived in New York. When I was working on Kamal's other show, he had a show called Totally Biased that was on FX, and I lived in New York. I wrote and performed on that show. And
okay.
Yeah. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Well,
depends.
we're getting to the end of our show, but before we go, we want to let everybody know how they can get more information about the Mr. Dwayne Kennedy and how they can get your new album that you just dropped this month called Who the Hell is Dwayne Kennedy? Let everybody know how they can get that.
They could go to OKED Records at Bandcamp right now. Yeah. I was gonna say click on the link like I know what I'm talking about, but I have no idea. I have no idea what that means. Click on the link, and if it's out there, let me know because I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, that is OK Records.
Yeah, yeah, Bandcamp.
Bandcamp.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you all can go to you all can go to OKED's record.
Okay.
Nope, take the S out.
You take that out.
Lord Jesus. There's a fire.
Like somebody with a condition. How's that brother doing? That brother got OKEDs. Oh no.
You're so funny.
Brother came down with OKEDs.
Got glasses on. Lord. I still can't see. Either way, it's OK Records. Yeah. Bandcamp.com. Yes, that's where you can go pick up his album, Who the Hell is Dwayne Kennedy? Dropped this month. You can also YouTube there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Google him. You'll see all the other things that he has done. You are one of the most important comedians to a lot of people, even though your name does not go everywhere. Like you said, a lot of people may not know you, but they should know you because you're such an amazing individual. We met you at the Leon Rogers show, so it's really, really like destined that we bumped into you and we were able to sit and chat with you today. Yeah. Also, before we go, is there anything else I wanted to bring up about Mr. Dwayne Kennedy? Outside the fact that you're a 2019 Emmy winner.
That's for my job as a supervising producer on a show called United Shades of America with W. Kamau Bell. That comes on CNN. So Kamau's a cat that I've known him a long time. He was, we met in Chicago. He was, I met Kamau when he was like 2 weeks into comedy. And I was getting back into comedy, and we, got along great. That's my boy. And he started, he's doing stand up here in Chicago. And then he moved in '97, he moved to San Francisco. And that's really where he came into his own and found his voice and all those things. And so he developed a show called the W. Kamau Bell Curve, How to Solve Racism in About an Hour. So anyway, he toured with the show, and he was doing it in New York one time. Chris Rock saw it and said, "Hey man, you're funny. That should be a TV show." And long story short, it became a TV show. And awesome. Yeah, and then Kamau was always telling me like, "Hey man, if I ever get a TV show, you're gonna be on it." But you know how people say all that? They say that a lot. If I ever get something, you ain't got to worry about nothing. But yeah, but he actually did. He got the show, and he put me on it. That was the first show, and now I'm working on this show. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Now, what is your connection with the Martin show? I really want to know that because that's one of my favorite shows.
Well, Martin and I used to have the same manager. We were managed by this cat named Topper Carew. Topper and Alice Carew. They were managers back in LA during the 80s and the early 90s. And they 80s and 90s, not even the early 90s. But at the time, they were some of the few Black Hollywood managers, talent managers. It wasn't that many back then, or certainly not as many as it is now, which I don't even know how many it is now. Maybe back then it was 2, now it's 4. I don't know, But so that's how we kind of met through Topper, and because we Topper signed me and signed a friend of mine, Jetta Jones, and then he wrote this movie that we all were in called Talking Dirty After Dark. Yeah, so that's my connection with Martin. Is we had the same management for a while. Yeah, so.
That's awesome. I mean, you worked on some pretty dope shows, man.
Definitely.
Yeah.
227, like really?
Yeah. I'm trying.
No, you have to tell me.
Okay.
How high?
Well, how
was it working on How High?
Okay. How was it working on How High?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I tell you how I got to work on the show in the first place? I mean, on that movie?
Yes, please do. Absolutely.
I was okay. Let me sit back.
There you go. Get comfy.
Yeah. I was doing I was at the Montreal Comedy Festival, and I was doing my act on stage, and they have everybody goes up there, from the industry, from show business, the comedians, of course, but also managers and writers and whatever, producers and whatnot. So I was doing the show, and somebody who was a producer for How High was there at the festival, at the comedy festival. So she saw me, and initially she was interested. There was a part that they were interested in me auditioning for, but that didn't work out. But when I got back to LA, they contacted my management and said, would I be interested in writing, doing what they call punch up on a show, on a movie, which is like somebody writes the script. It's supposed to be a comedy. So somebody will write the story, but they don't feel like it's funny enough. So they'll take it and pass it around to various people to, like they say, punch it up to make it funnier, So I had never done that before. I didn't even know what that was. So they, told me, they said, yeah, would you like to, write punch up for this movie? I said, yeah, okay, I'll take a look at it. So they send me the script, and I'm like, man, this script is horrible. And, but I thought about some things that you could do, or maybe this, or maybe that, or maybe, whatever, wrote some stuff. So I think maybe 2-3 days later, whenever it was, they called me and said, so what'd you think? And me, being ignorant, I guess thinking I was funny, I said, man, that script is horrible. But of course, that's why they're sending it to you. You know what I mean? To help make it
right.
You ain't got to tell. We know that. Tell us something we don't know. Tell us something useful. So then, the person who called me, that said, when I said that, said, okay, well, thanks anyway. Then I was thinking, wait a minute. I'm about to, thinking I'm being cute, saying being funny. My man's about to hang up. I said, I said, but, well, you could maybe do this. And I did have some ideas and notes for, the script. I said, well, maybe on page 18 where so-and-so goes and so-and-so, maybe you could say something. He's listening. I said, well, maybe on this so you could maybe, okay. I said, and then I actually added a scene where you could so-and-so, okay, well, would you like to come in for a meeting? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. I don't know who was telling you that silliness earlier. I don't know who that was on the phone. I might have sounded like talking nonsense, but So I go to the office, go over to where were they at, in Santa Monica, I think, or Century City, and go and meet with them, the producers. And I sit down with the cat who I was on the phone with, can't remember, and like 2 or 3 other producers, and I tell them my ideas for the scenes and this and that, and they like, so okay, boom, you're hired. So now I'm working on the movie. I'm going in. It was a 2-week job, and I'm writing with 2 other cats who, one of them was a professional writer, comedy writer, and another one who's also a comedy writer but also does stand up as well. So anyway, so we meet nightly. We go and work at the office of the director. The director, cat who directed the movie, was Bob Dylan's son. His name is Jesse. Yeah, Jesse Dillon. So he was a big director of commercials. So he had a big office space and all anyway. So we would meet at his office and work on the movie. So one night we're in there, we're writing, working on the movie, writing scenes. And it was a scene that I had written, and I was there, another writer, and one of the producers. And I just said out loud, just talking, not even thinking, I said, man, it was one of the characters in the scene. I said, man, I could do this character, talking. No big deal. Next day I get a call. We'd like you to come in and audition for that character. Okay. So I auditioned, I got it. It's a little part, but it's the part that I actually wrote for the movie. Yeah. So
now tell everybody what that part was. I love the movie.
I played the recruiter, one of the college recruiters at a black college. So when they were meeting with various people, when they had passed the SATs, whatever it is, to get in, so they had all these recruiters coming to their crib, and it was me and the son. We were the recruiters for what was it, Reparations State Technical Institute or something like that.
Yes, I do remember that part. Oh my goodness. I do remember that.
Yeah. But no, it was cool. They were cool. I know what. One night when we first started working on the script, we actually went to the W Hotel in Wilshire, and what's that called? West LA. Anyway, we went to the W and I met with Method and Red. They were in their room, It was funny. Those cats open the door and just weed smoke just come billowing out like I was in a hip hop video,
Or a high movie.
Right. Exactly. Those brothers weren't acting. Yeah. But
that's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, I wish I could just work on movies and work with some of the people you work with. It's an amazing journey.
Yeah. You definitely will.
Say that.
It's interesting.
I receive that. Okay. I receive that. And if you know any other scripts and parts that people need.
Okay. What is it in the movies you want to do?
Anything that requires my clothes stay on and not many curse words. I'm all for it. But yeah.
Now, how do you sign up for the writing gigs? Because I know you have to start somewhere to get somewhere.
Well, yes. And the beautiful thing about doing stand-up, it kind of affords you a lot of very different opportunities, because this how I got my first writing gig was from doing stand-up at the Montreal Comedy Festival, And so, and the other thing that is great about, this business or just the artistic pursuit is there's no one set way. There's no one approach to getting what it is you want to get, which is also can be frustrating, like for a lot of stand-ups and a lot of writers, how you get gigs is from your peers, like even though I got that How High gig, I didn't know anybody at the time, but like with Totally Biased, Kamal knew me. It's not like, they're doing you a favor. They, you still have to, bring the goods, right? You have to be able, you have to have the chops. But if you do have chops and cats know you, and they did what you do and they respect it, why wouldn't they bring you in? I would, So so there's no one set way. There's people who've gotten writing gigs certainly they have a literary agent and they write what they call, depending on what it is you're trying to write. Say if it's a TV show, so you write what they call a spec script. Then you already know this. I don't want to tell you something you already know, but you write a spec script, you give all this stuff to your agent. So when they look for jobs for you, something might come up and then they submit you, So it's many different ways in. Yeah. I'll tell you, not to cut you off, there's a cat, Bentley Kyle Evans. He's a co-creator of Jamie Foxx show. And Bentley got his start. When I was working on the Orlando Jones show, that's where I met Bentley. Bentley was a consultant. Bentley had worked on Martin's show. Well, Bentley was a cat. He's from LA, but always, you know, smart and a hustler, you know. And I think he started as an actor, and he was saying that when Martin Lawrence first got his deal with HBO and they were going to, you know, try to develop a show for him, Martin met, I think Bentley at an audition or somewhere they met, and Martin liked him. And Martin said, "Hey man, do you write?" And Bentley was like, "Yeah, man, yeah, sure, I write, yeah." And he, you know, at the time really wasn't. He said, "Yeah, I'd written some diary journals or something." He said, "But I hadn't written any script." He said, "Okay, well, cool. Come to this meeting with me. Meet me at this meeting that Martin was having, I think, with some execs at HBO or somewhere like that." And so Martin brought Bentley in and said, "This is the show, and I want him to write on it. This is a brother now. They don't know who Bentley is, but he said, and he was insistent, I want him to write on it." And that's how Bentley got his start. So I said, there's many ways in, you know. There's no one set route.
Yeah. It also shows that it's all about who you know too that can pull you in. So that's very important, you know. But a lot of people who are in positions to actually help don't necessarily like to help. You may come across some that do, but not necessarily everybody is willing to help and pull the next person in. So that's struggle too.
That is, and then sometimes too. It's absolutely that. Sometimes, like you said, you just, you know, somebody who you thought you were tight with, and they do something, they go on to do something, and now you can't get a hold of them and whatever, you know. Mm-hmm. But sometimes, like, I don't know if you all have experienced this, that in show business, like you never hear no. You either hear you got the job or you don't hear anything. Nobody gets back to you to tell you that you didn't get something. You know?
Right.
Generally. But I was just saying that to say that sometimes get feedback would be a good thing, because sometimes it's not the matter of if you and I know each other and your strengths are whatever, you can write drama, you can act in, you're a dramatic actor and this and that, but it might not be comedy. Not to say you aren't talented at what you do. So it might be a thing of, you know, somebody and they're working on a project that, not that they don't respect your talent, but you might not be right for the thing that they're doing. Sometimes, sure. you know, it can be a lot of things, and then sometimes, yeah.
But most of the time, that is the case. You're just not right for what they're looking for.
Yeah, sometimes, and sometimes it's a personal thing or whatever it might be, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. Like, I understand everything you're saying, so I appreciate that. Absolutely. But as much as we would love to keep you all day, because we have enjoyed you so much, and you're just so full of information.
Okay.
That we would love to have you come on the show again in the future.
I would do this show anytime.
Yes, awesome. Well, we definitely enjoyed you. We hope you had a good time with TK Talkz. Again, anybody who wants to get his album, Who the Hell is Dwayne Kennedy? It is available. Just go to oakbrooksrecords.bandcamp.com. You can purchase
it. Records.
Okay, what I say?
You said Oakbrook.
Did I?
That's
Chicago stuff.
Yeah, you know, that's Will Smith's production company, Oakbrook.
Okay, that's right. Okay. Yes.
You'll find it. Yeah.
Matter of fact, let me do you one better, because I got it right this time.
Okay.
Where we at? So y'all make sure y'all go cop. Yeah, really? Y'all make sure y'all go cop that. It's amazing. He got a lot of different things. He talks about metal detectors at church.
You know,
young black psychopaths trying to make it. Donald Trump versus Earth, shooting seasons in Chicago, and God is a Gangster, amongst other things. So y'all make sure y'all go check that out. The man is hilarious. Okay, we've already played a clip of it, so y'all can go back and watch that. But Dwayne, thank you again, my love, for coming, and we will talk to you soon. Okay?
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me. You all take care, and all the best and all success to you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hey, bye.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining TK Talk on this lovely Wednesday. Yes. We had our lady tea time. Well, T.I. is a mess, but that's all right. Again, we will see you all on Monday. That's when we'll be back. Monday, 5 p.m. Y'all make sure y'all come back and join your girls right here on Facebook Live or YouTube Live. You can watch us either way. We'll be live. And make sure y'all hit that follow, that share, and that like button.
Make sure you hit that share button.
And that thumbs up. Continue to rock with your girls from Chicago. Your support means everything. We love you guys so very much, and we will see you all on Monday. Bye. Before we go, because I always do that, and then I'll be mad at myself. We're going to remind you guys how to follow us, all right? Here you go. Hey you, it is time to figure out how to follow us on social media. Go to your YouTube browser, put in TK Talkz, that's TK Talkz with a Z. There you will find our YouTube channel where all of our past and future episodes will be. And you can check out all of our great guest interviews. So now, Lady T, show them how to get on Facebook.
Sure. All you have to do is put in TK Talkz in the search bar. TKTALKZ. Yes, with a Z. Also hit that like and that follow button as you see above. And let's get it. Time to get ready.
Yes, so now we're about to get ready for our show. You ready, Lady T? Yes, I am.